Awesome.
Yes, my shit right here. Welcome back to another episode of Road to William. It's Friday. If you haven't already, no, it's Thursday. I can't talk to the people. Where this drops Friday, but it's the weekend approaching, y'all. If you need something to do, go check out Wicked. How long has it's been since it's been out of theaters?
I feel like it came out maybe a week before Thanksgiving.
So almost a month at this point, like 3 weeks.
Maybe like November 17th.
Okay, maybe a month. Okay, about a month. It's still being sold out. I'm gonna show y'all a preview of me on my way to the theaters. I vlogged a little bit, but I didn't want to ruin the experience for myself, for my lady. So it's like I just want to. I'm still in the beginning stages of vlogging, right? Okay, I'm kind of anxious. I have anxiety. Okay, so I'm trying to work my way to the vlogging world, but I vlogged a little bit, and kind of like what I did up on The Blackening when we reviewed The Blackening. That was a good movie.
Oh yeah.
I want to start our own DVD shelf. Everybody's got one. However you pile it up tall, stand it straight up. We should start our own DVD shelf. So I feel like at the end, I'm gonna ask, would you want to put this on your shelf, or would you be like, put it back in the Dropbox, return it? And so yeah, but first, I want to welcome my cousin back to the show, IB Ballin Basketball Show, a hit sports show on YouTube, number one sports show in the world, because she looks at not just your average highlighted players. She looks at the best players, like regardless of, if they're popular or not. She looks at the past, the present. She's staying in the know. Hello, repeat that for the people in the back. She's in the know. If you don't want to be a corn muffin, stay in the know. Because when you stay in the know, that's for me grassroots of you're consistently seeing the standard in the bar rising. And you can point out the people who are either meeting that or exceeding that. So shout out to my cousin, Ivy Ballin, Basketball Show. Tell them about your channel and what to look forward to.
Yeah, my channel covers WNBA and NBA news, trades, free agency, all that good stuff. Basketball movie reviews, and NBA 2K, and I'm a talkative person in my community post too. So if you want to see news, a photo that you like in my community post, don't be afraid to holler at.
But I wanted you to start off with how you felt about Wicked and how many times have you seen it? And did you see it?
I've only seen it once in theaters, but my mom hasn't seen it, so I'm gonna watch it with her whenever she's ready, because it's a great film. I loved it from beginning to end. It was awesome. I thought the scenery and the imagery was beautiful and magical. I liked how they had the little Dorothy Wizard of Oz in the beginning a little bit. I just thought, the outfits were good. I thought the cast was great, great, great. Ariana Grande, people like her music. She started on Disney Channel. She was Glinda, or is it Glenda? I'm just gonna say Glinda. Glinda. Um, and I'm gonna say this slowly so I get it right. Elfafa. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but I could be wrong. I thought she was amazing. Some people may not know much about her, but her acting is superb. Cynthia. I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Irvio, but that's her real name. But not. I might have not, said it correctly. But I thought they both had great chemistry. They're both great actors. Oh, some people may not know this, but um she played Harriet Tubman in the latest Harriet Tubman movie. It might have came out maybe 2019. She played her. So, she has a lot of acting chops. And apparently she has a lot of acting chops on Broadway and, overseas. So shout out to her. Oh, and I read that they're probably not gonna do the Broadway thing, but I thought the acting was great. I would definitely see it again. Oh, the music and the dancing was tremendous. I didn't know much about the play Wicked. I just knew that somebody had a twist on the Wizard of Oz because they're like, okay, how did they become, you know, who they are? So, someone else made Wicked, because we don't really know how did the Wicked Witch of the West become, Wicked, right? So I do like that, I feel like Wizard of Oz was, our parents' upbringing, you know, and they even made a Black Oz, the Oz with Michael Jackson, right? But I feel like even if you haven't watched Wizard of Oz or don't know much about it, I still think the film does a great job of, the characters, the movie. I think it did it justice. I think it was a little better than the Wonka musical. They did a Willy Wonka musical this year, and I think it was a little better than the Color Purple musical. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I think it was a little better than both of those. My favorite song. Oh well, I'll let you talk first, and then I'll tell you my favorite song.
Oh, I love the film from the beginning, which is really, I overlooked that myself, but I just was like, yes, I was seeing the hype and everything, and I was just like going into it, not doubting it, but I just wanted to go into it with a clear head. So I wasn't really trying to expect for anything. And so uh, I just kind of sat back, and when it captured me in the beginning, I was like, it kind of sold me at that point because it was a big, powerful message when they were rolling Elphaba's figure out with her hat, and in the music, the song with it hit home and was powerful. But that's probably my favorite song. One, I loved all the songs, but I think that was my favorite. What about you?
Um, I so this might sound a little funny. So I went with my friend Sam, and I really liked it. The song "Defying Gravity," and I've heard of the song "Popular," and then I told him, "Who sings the song Gravity, Defying Gravity. I feel like they stole that song. He's like, no, that song came with the play and the book. And I was like, oh, no wonder I've heard that before. I thought it was like an artist and they just took the song and made it their own and Wicked. But no, that comes with the movie and Popular. I've heard both Popular before, but I didn't know they were connected to the movie. Oopsies. Don't hate me, Wicked fans, Wizard of Oz fans. I do like those two because those are the ones that I know. But I would say my favorite scene and my favorite song, I had to look it up because I don't know it. But as the scene was unfolding, I was like, wow, this is my favorite. It's the scene where, you know, Glinda and Elphafa,
Elphaba.
Elphafa, what?
Elphaba.
Alphaba, right. Okay. I'm not really good at pronouncing names, y'all, but
I'm probably saying it wrong, too.
but when they were like competing against each other, like who gets the seat, and they were in the cafeteria and they were doing all these things to each other, and there was like loathing, and I really liked that scene because they was like battling back and forth and stuff like that.
Song battle.
Yeah, it was before they became friends, so I really like that back and forth stuff. And oh, the song is called For the People. The song is called Will Time Tell. I think that's what it's called. What is this feeling? No, what is this feeling? Yes, that's the song. What is this feeling? I really like that song because it kind of showed how in the beginning they weren't really cool with each other and they were battling, and Glinda had all her friends and puppets. I thought Ariana did good because I forgot it was Ariana Grande. I can't say that, I know how she acts. I don't know her, but I thought that she played the character well. And I thought, Cynthia, I thought she played her character well because she was very fierce, like tough, but you could see the softer side of her and how she wanted to stand up for herself, but she was very kind, and you could sympathize with her. Oh, that song, I'm not that girl. I was like, oh, I can relate to that. and it, and there was a scene where she was kind of liking Glinda's boyfriend, and I was like, don't kiss him. um because I would say, okay, you can go.
I like how they intertwined a lot of movies together. Like Grease, I felt there was a moment between Glinda and Prince, Prince, and and I love that bookcase scene, and it's like moving in there.
Oh yeah, that I think that's my favorite too, because I'm like, how did they build that, and how did everyone stay on point? I like that scene too.
That was cold. Because it almost felt like a lot of times just felt more like a play. It's like it's a movie, but it felt like we were watching them on stage in certain moments. Um, Elphaba for me, Elphaba and Dr. Dillerman, the goat, um,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that's kind of funny in itself because a lot of the new generation, our generation as well, our generation kind of like spoke, kind of put that goat in our generation. Like, you know what I mean? We started saying it more. And I liked how he was like their teacher, like the goat is teaching you the game. But he starts losing his voice, which I feel like his character and Elphaba's character represented for me, um, trans people's voices who are getting um, their voices taken little by little, and Black people, marginalized people voices are getting taken away in front of us. Because it used to be a lot of hearsay, she say, but now I feel like because we're living a world where we use technology to speak our truth and whatnot, it's a freedom, but it's also kind of looking at like a curse if we had to. What's the downside of it? There's always a pro and con of something. But I feel like they represented what we're seeing today of like the students in the room were kind of like the people all over the world watching what's happening and what can you do about it besides just watch. You will fall, there will be many that will fall asleep and continue to just play this game even though they know it's a game. But then there'll be the woke ones, which people they laugh at. People say woke or whatever. That's a laughing stock too. It's kind of a snarky one. People won't outright say it, but if you someone say they're woke or it's kind of a diss now. It's not really a thing, which is part of our generation too. Like when I was in college, I heard a lot of that's when the woke thing kind of started sparking up. People start using more words like melanin and stuff, and we're just like, what's happening with these words? It's coming up in conversation. But I feel like um, even when the media shuts down, or the people who continue to just go with the flow shut down and are asleep, the ones who are woke will actually be the ones who get the job done because everyone's asleep. They want a work life balance. They don't want nothing else. That's stressful. Why would you want to do that? Glenda's character kept reminding her, like, that person that's like, it's making sense. But when you've seen the full side of things, it's hard to just continue with the norm. And Glenda, to me, I'm going to stop there. But how did you feel about the different characters? What character stood out to you the most?
Hmm. Very, very. Oh, well, that was very deep. My cousin was very deep when he said that goat, greatest of all time. People do like to talk about the goat, like who's the goat of each sport. You connect things, that other people can't see, and like when the you were talking about sleep, and then, I remember, people in the class would sleep, and then, Alphaba, and the prince, they went to save the little animal. I do relate because I was thinking, okay, Alphaba, represents, okay, the 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 people that, are like different, like green skin is sort of, I felt like, maybe they're talking about black people, right? Or anybody who's different. And even the dad wasn't really feeling her green skin, right? And I thought that was interesting because the sister was actually, she still was different too. But since she didn't have green skin, the father kind of loved her more. But she had her own disability, and even she was like, "Hey, I don't need anyone to help me because you want that independence." I did feel like they were relating all of that to like people who are different, like the animals. I felt like, the goats, and I did like this. So they had this scene where Alphaba did follow the goat. Um, I shouldn't say the goat. I should say the real name, right? Oh, speaking of the goat, so
Dr. Dillard. Diller,
Dr.
Dillerman, I think.
Dillamond.
Dillerman. I been
I do like this actor. His name is Peter Dinklage. I don't know. I probably didn't. I like his act. He actually represents a lot of people who are short. I don't know if you've seen him in things, but he's like the short guy that acts in a lot of big
yeah, he's
movies.
in Game of Thrones.
Oh, he is? Well, There you
That's
go.
another reason why you need to watch Game of Thrones, cuz
Oh
I'll
boy.
put it in the public. I'm not editing this part out, raw and uncut.
Oh boy.
Give
I did
them
think
what they
the
want.
end. Maybe I'll try one episode.
I said one episode. You're gonna be hooked. You're gonna be hooked. I swear. And then I'll
Well,
start watching How to Get Away with Murder for the first time. That's the deal. Shake on it virtually. No, wait.
all right. There was a scene where Dr. Dillamon, he went and they was having a meeting with all the other animals. And that's sort of how some people do it in real life. You know, they have secret meetings. Like, I'm pretty sure the slaves had secret meetings, Black Panther, and that, you
Trump
know.
and Putin. Trump and Putin. Putin from Russia. They had a secret meeting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. To talk about issues and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And it's sort of also you're stripping them away from their voice so they can't speak for themselves, right? And influence others. So, and I also did like that scene because they had the shadows of the animals talking, the each animal was talking, and they had the animals in the background, and it was sort of like shadows and stuff like that. So I did like that scene. um yeah, that's what you were talking about, right? Right. The I think, yeah, they had a lot of different metaphors, basically anyone who's different.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I did like how they had the sister be included in like a dance routine as well at the party. That was cool.
Her boyfriend was terrible and a simp, and he didn't deserve her. I think Prince and Nessa could have gotten together. Or could, because he wasn't gonna be right for Elphaba, and he was like, the ideal would think him and Glenda would be perfect, but they didn't mesh either. And I feel like if they kind of dabbled in their relationship, it's a part 2 coming. I know it's next year, but maybe if we can push them to do it at least in the summer, make a part 3. Yeah, I didn't like Bach. He mm, he never
Yeah,
she never wanted to, bro. He couldn't get that through his head.
yeah, it's one of those situations he's gonna look back on and be like, I was an idiot. He was just listening to Glenda while still being so attached to Glenda. Glenda shouldn't have done it, but
He
still,
could have just
Bach.
said, I don't like you, but that probably wouldn't have stopped. So she's like, I'm gonna push you to her, right? Please leave me alone, right? But he was lame. Bach was lame because he was like, I'm only gonna wait until they fully kiss for me to even ask you out. You're crazy. You got on my nerves. You got on my nerves. I feel like also Elphaba represented who the true Oz was because everybody was set on this mission to be like, we're off to see the wizard. And I love that scene of them showing them, Dorothy and them on the Yellow Brick Road. I thought that was a dope scene because you're like, we've all seen the wizard. I might have to just rewatch it all from the jump. But I just love that scene because if you remember the Wizard of Oz or the Oz, that's for the black folks. I feel like we should do a comparison though, which was the best.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not putting that one in there. They ain't stealing everything. They already copying our stuff. I've been peeping stuff. No, I'm just no. But but I love that scene because like in the Wizard of Oz, it was like you kind of like hated on the Wicked Witch of the West. You're like, what is that? You don't even know what she looked like. You're scared of her. You're like, ah. And then you see her flying randomly. You're like, ah. But then you see her, and I was trying to look for this in the movie, and I was like, "Where's her striped socks?" Because that's what we saw up in the Wizard of Oz. Like she had them red shoes on, which was we saw was gifted by Glinda, and Linda was looked at like this perfect person everybody wanted to be. She was just the showy show, just another showy show of the fake Wizard of Oz dude parading around that little big thing. And he's like, oh, I just do that to intimidate people. And then you start, it kind of showed you what the Hollywood industry and the music and all these industries, it don't matter if it's, you see it on TV or not. They show you this like behind the scenes of what really goes on when you pull the curtain back, right? Which that's part of like the Broadway thing too, right? And it's kind of like when we pull the curtain back, what are those actors doing? What was their day like? What did they eat? You don't care. Put that show on, right? It kind of shows you the realistic version, and they uncovered. I feel like she's the Elphaba's the true Oz because none of them had power. I don't know what it is today about this power word, but it's kind of flowing, right? Because she's the only one who had the power to change anything. But they were treating her as if she was like part of the help, like part of helping the Oz, helping the real one, right? Who was this white man who he didn't have no real power, even though he's in position. How did you feel about after realizing the truth? How did you feel Linda's response was?
Well, they were singing together. I mean, Elphaba was like, come with me. She just kept singing and, gave her a nice cape and, she didn't want to tell her like, hey, I don't want to go nowhere. She got a boyfriend. She's the queen of the school. She don't want to go anywhere. And they kind of, it was like without saying like, hey, fine, I'll go on my own then. I kind of already knew from the jump that the character, Madame, played by Michelle,
Yeah.
I knew I was telling Sam something's off about her. I don't believe her because in the very when Elphaba, her power was kind of like everything was flying everywhere. They of course thought, hey, it's Elphaba, but then the teacher took credit, and said, no, that I was just testing you guys. She took, the credit. Now you might think, oh, she just saved Elphaba. She saved her from humiliation. Well, I thought something was fishy from her from the jump. I said, I don't like her. Yeah, she's a great, actor, but I don't like the character. I knew from jump. Jeff Goldman played the wizard. I don't know why they had him singing. I don't know. It wasn't the best, I just liked it. I just liked it, Glinda, and the other cast members were good. I just don't think Jeff Goldman, and yeah, I think that's how some people, it's sort of like music industry. Is it really their voice or is it technology doing things with their voice? And sometimes you find out by just going to a concert. Are they lip singing? What's real? What's fake? He's a good actor, if you will, puts a front. And I also wondered about the monkeys because I was like, well, are they trying to tell Alphabet don't do it, but they don't have a voice? And I was a little confused because I was like, okay, she gave them wings, but then I was like, did they already have wings? But I guess yeah, she gave them wings by accident and there was no reversal. And I just feel like that's what people do. They use you, and then once you do their job, they're like, oh, we don't really care. And the teacher, the teacher spread lies about her, and it's interesting how everyone just supposed to believe you just because you say it's true when it's not. And I also was like Glinda. I saw how the teacher started to pay more attention to Glinda after Alphaba's off on the broom, with the flying monkeys. Oh, now you want to take her by the hand and do something. But before you had no interest in her. And on top of that, you only was helping her because Alphaba said so. And so now maybe Glinda did become, better at with her wand and spells and magic. But you're only helping her because who's left? Alphaba's gone. And I just feel like I do like how at first the monkeys were after her, but then they're like, yo, we need to band together. So they were flying together. I like that because the monkeys was like, pew, and crashed into the balcony. But you can go now. I just thought they did have a good friendship, but Glinda, she don't want to live out on the run and stuff. And also Glinda, I feel like she didn't really set the record straight. Maybe in the second one, maybe she will. But you gotta let them know who the real Alphaba is. You can't just say, oh, she's the wicked. I hope she didn't just play into the game, because the real her. And if anybody can step up, it's the popular. It's the popular one, right? So, and I know she's full of herself, and she was kind of funny when things weren't going her way or stuff like that. But the popular ones have a lot of power, right? Because you can influence others. As soon as that, rumor started, you should have nipped it in the bud. And so
I feel like Glinda was that problematic person we've all ran into at least once. And I love how she played into how like white women are in life. Like she played into that dumb blonde narrative people have. She plays into that narrative of how realistically people are treated by people like her. Even though it was funny, like it was funny.
yeah,
But we
yeah, she
all
was
know we're
funny.
laughing at the people that are like that. We're not saying, oh, white women are like that. But there are a bunch enough that we call them Karens, we call them whatever the other one is. Glinda and Morrible, definitely, I saw similarities because she's just the younger version of Morrible. And Morrible only looked in her direction because she realized that she wanted for Elphaba that characteristic from Glinda. Like if she just had Glinda's like pizzazz, then we can and that also not just that spirit, but also that I can manipulate you. See, you can, because in that moment when Elphaba flew off and Glinda stayed, that really showed Morrible like, oh, I can manipulate her. She's willing to stay knowing all the secrets, and people like her, so we can push her more, just like the industry does, oh, you look good, men want you, women want you, people want you, they'll do what you say, they'll lay down their jackets, their life. They can promote that, they can market that. So she was marketable to sustain this old Oz fantasy for people. Then you got to look at Morrible more like she was Glinda at one point and she stayed, but things were different. The animals could talk to them and they knew what they decided to say. But do you have any, oh, and also that the voice is important because if you get enough people, that's a lot of voices to stand against one person because the people are the real people who rule it all. And so, what are your thoughts as we wrap up this review?
My thoughts is just, yeah, Glinda stayed. Sometimes people stay because they like they don't like change or the unknown, you know. I don't like change or the unknown, you know. You know, she's comfortable where she's at. I just think that she still could have been a true friend if she would have nipped the rumors in the bud. But I don't think she is. I did feel like it was I do want to know what's going to happen because if they called her the Wicked Witch of the West, she had to have done something. So I kind of want to know what she does. Yeah. And yeah, I kind of just want to see how that relationship is. Especially when they meet, you know, I don't know if it's years later or I don't know, but especially if they when they meet the first time in a while, you know, I kind of want to see what happens there. Yeah.
So are you gonna, when this comes out on DVD, are you putting it on your shelf or are you just renting it? You're dropping it back off.
I used to buy DVDs back when Blockbuster and Walmart, you know. Now I don't buy DVDs. I wait till it's going to be on streaming services. It may take a while, but it will be on streaming services. I don't know. Is it going to be on Disney? I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know who owns the Oz, but um if possible, if I was into DVDs still, I would buy it. I wouldn't put it on the shelf. I think it's a great musical, and I do like the cast because you know they could have picked anyone because you know they have green. They could have picked anybody to you know have to be Alphaba because she has green skin, but they picked an African American, and she's also British, I believe. So I like the diversity, you know, and I also like because think about it, you know, they had her sister in a wheelchair, that's diversity. Pinker Dinklage, he's diversity. Ariana Grande, she's Italian, that's diversity. You know, they could have made the whole cast white if they wanted, you know, but they didn't. Michelle Yeoh, she's I don't want to, you know, you know, race mixed up. So I don't want to say like, oh, she's Chinese and it's Tracy. She's Chinese. But yeah, I like the diversity. Sorry for running late. Yeah, sorry.
But I think that her green skin, Elphaba's green skin, was more so like also for dark skinned people because, like you said, it was the complexion that he didn't really care for. Like he liked the lighter skin, you know what I mean? And dark skinned people get judged differently. And I think that green skin was more so instead of it. I like how they played with her own skin and then like blended it in certain moments. That was dope. But I think because she is kind of, I wouldn't really, I don't know. I like how they didn't play on her actual skin color. They kind of was like, we're gonna put a different color to it, but it's gonna represent people like us and people are marginalized other people. So I liked how they did that for sure. But
For sure.
thank you for dropping by for the movie review recap. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Tell us your favorite part of the film. What was your favorite part of this video? Let us know if you're new here. What's good? If you're back, what up? Go check out Ashley and her channel. Give them your tags and whatnot. Where to find you.
I'm on all of social media platforms. Ashley Abby Ballin, and I have a Facebook community group, IB Ballin Basketball Facebook group. Also, shout out to Alphaba Hairstyle. It was micro braids, giving the brandy look. Hey.
For
Stay
y'all,
ballin'.
stay balling and make sure y'all drinking y'all water every day. every once in a while. Peace.
Peace.